Second year, just talking about it. Now you're really settled in. Everything seems to be smooth for you. What do you anticipate this season?
Taking my game to another level, taking my game to a whole nother level. Um, Last year wasn't good enough for me, so I got to take big strides this year.
And how do you see this defense as a whole?
Defense as a whole,
From last year?
I see it doing great. We got a great defensive coordinator. We got great coaches. We're flying around right now. We got to continue to just get better with these days at practice. Got to keep stacking our days up. But I see us doing way, way better than last year.
Jamar, how important is it to know who the starting safeties are going to be so you guys can get that whatever chemistry back?
It's important, but we have a real good chemistry as a whole right now. Everybody hangs out. We all watch film together. We're all steadily communicating. So whoever they plug in back there, we'll be all right. Right now, it's just about getting our installs in, getting our calls in, and really just breaking down our defense and just playing fast. And we let everything else take care of itself.
Have you seen anything different from Kindred since he came back from the injury?
Yeah, I mean, he's just way more comfortable. When you're a rookie, you just kind of out there like a chicken with his head cut off. And this year, I mean, that man's flying around. He's hitting people really hard. He just knows the in and outs of the defense so far. But I think he's going to have a good year, too.
How much more comfortable are you than a year ago when you were the new guy and didn't know exactly what to expect here? How have you settled in?
I settled in well, but I never get comfortable. Because that's when stuff happens that you don't want to happen. You know what I mean? So I'm always steadily working. I'm always got my head down. I really don't say too much. I just work my butt off, you know what I mean, and go out there and just try to do my job. But it's good to be here, after last year and, just kind of know the guys and kind of, they know me, I know them, and kind of know what to expect.
So familiar but not comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Last year, Jamar, you had that edge to prove after Miami traded you, and this is a whole new beginning for you. So what's your edge now after the new contract and establishing yourself again?
The same. I mean, every day I think about what happened with me in Miami, and every day I feel like I have to prove to them that they made a mistake. So until I'm done playing football, and then my other edge is I want to make Pro Bowls. I want to be one of, in the names of top 5 corners, top 3 corners. So I have a lot to prove, and I want them to think about it every time I'm on the tape and I make a play that, we should never let this guy go.
What is Jason McCourty's experience at now to your second year?
Yeah, it's good experience. I mean, guy's been playing for 9 years, so I know for me, just being a year 5 guy, I mean, he's teaching me stuff that I thought I knew that I actually didn't know. But we're lucky to have him.
Hey, Jamar, do you think everybody in the league thinks they want to be thought of as a top 3 or 5 player at their position?
Not everybody. You'd be surprised. Some guys, just want to play football. But I don't do this just to play. I do this to be the best. It's been the same way since I was 5 years old. My mom and my dad never just let me just be a guy. So I got some work to do.
So when it wasn't going the way you wanted it to in Miami, how did you deal with it? How frustrating was it that you weren't kind of on that trajectory that you thought of?
It was frustrating. It was a lot of praying nights, a lot of nights calling my wife now and my parents, and kind of, just kind of letting out frustration. But at the same time, I always had that in the back of my mind that I could be a top guy. I just had to continue to work and kind of let everything play out.
So when you watch the guys that the rest of the league considers the top corners, the Shermans and the Patrick Petersons, do you say I have all the talent that they have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was drafted, second round, just because I didn't have, the talent. I think those guys are all awesome, though. They all bring something different, to the position. But I take some stuff from their game and I add some stuff from my game, and I just, I want to be up there with those guys. So.
When things start off badly, for whatever reason, like it was in Miami, is it hard to get back out of that hole? And or what do you think happens? And then you're so much better.
I think it's all about your support system. I got a strong support system with my wife and my mom, my dad, my grandma, my brother. That they wouldn't let me fall in, deep down into a bad place. Every time I started to, they'd pick me back up. So, it's because of them and God himself, for just keeping me strong, through all that stuff.
But then you get here and everything just changes for you. How does that happen?
Just play football. When I got here, Coach Hughes said I had a chance, to be in the starting 11. He said he's going to give me every opportunity, but he told me he needed to see me, play fast and make plays. And I just went out there and I just worked. You know, I've never changed the way I worked. I just always worked really, really hard. I really don't get too caught up on, you know, too high or too low on exciting moments or bad moments. I just kind of always stay the same. And I think when you do that and you make plays, then that's when everything just works out for you.
You would seem to be an example of a guy who shows it's easier to play without a cluttered mind. Is that a free mind? Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, you got to kind of let all the BS just kind of go over your head, you know, so to say. You can't be worried about, you know, all the distractions, you know, what people say about you, what people write about you. It really doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is, you know, the 53 guys and coaches, and how they think about you.
Did it bother you when you were a rookie, when you read stuff like that?
I didn't read. I don't do social media. I don't do any of that. I just, you know, turned it off. And, you know, as a rookie, I was like, I just wanted to get healthy. And then, you know, something else happened. And it was like kind of always something. But then, you know, I had Courtland Finnegan always tell me, like, hey, you got to keep working because you're going to have one hell of a testimony. And to have a vet tell me that, I was like, okay. And I just stuck around him. And, you know, he taught me the game. And I really didn't leave his side the whole time.
So when you're talking about Miami and you're always thinking about that, have you always been that way? Like if somebody says you can't do something or somebody doubts you, you always are just like determined to prove them wrong?
Yeah, always. Because I don't think nobody can tell me that I can't be who I want to be. I feel like God always, you know, has given me a vision of what I can be, and He installed hard work in me. So it's like, you know, who's gonna stop me?
So do you, like, even when you're a little kid, do you have like a
Same
story
way.
or something like that?
I had a coach in Pop Warner who told me I wasn't good, and it was funny because like he was my uncle's friend, and it seemed like every time my uncle wasn't at practice, he'll just get on me, but then I'll go in the game and I'll ball, and then I look at him like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean, and my dad used to be like, you better leave my son alone. Same with my uncle. And he's like, I'm not good, but then, you know, here I was making interceptions and making touchdowns or making crazy tackles, and it was like, well, you know, you can say I'm not good, but, you know, the stats don't lie.
How old were you when this was going on?
That was probably like 10 or 11. Yeah.
You were giving guys the look at 10 or 11?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with 4 older cousins, so being the youngest, I'm kind of, you know, I always had to kind of raise the standard, you know what I mean? I had to keep up with those guys, so, you know, it wasn't no backing down to anybody.
What were you playing when you were a kid when you started off?
Back then I was playing safety. Yeah, I played safety and receiver, and then I went to corner. Like once I got in high school, for sure, I went just straight corner.
And when you say growing up with cousins, I mean, were they always around? I mean, how close were you guys?
Always around. I mean, they're dang near like my brothers. Okay. So, yeah, I grew up with 3 other cousins, and they pushed me to the limit every day. You know, it wasn't no backing down. If we got in a fight, it wasn't no like go cry. You got to get up, fight them. Don't come in the house until you beat them up. You know what I mean? And that's always that's the way that my parents kind of raised me. You know what I mean? To be tough-minded and don't back down. And you know, I think right now, you know, it's been holding true.
Did the fact that you had a good season last year and were rewarded with the contract, did that take some of the sting out of the 1 in 15?
No, because I spent a lot of hours in this building. You know, for me personally, you know, when you spend so much time, you want to win. You know, we don't play this game to lose. It's a lot of guys that put a lot of hours here, from coaches to players, and we wanted to win last year. You know, but this year we know that last year wasn't good enough. You know, so if we have to spend more time in here and more time on the field, we will in order to get those wins. But that extension did nothing to that. Yeah.
I mean, it's been 7 months since that season ended. Like, how often do you think about it? How often does it come up when you talk to the guys in the locker room?
When we got here, Coach had talked about erasing the tape, and that's what we're doing. It's in the past. We got a whole new staff. We got a whole new players in here, and you know, we just gelling together right now.
Well, what's the competition like for those final spots in the league? Some of the younger guys?
It's good. It's good. It's for all of us. I mean, not just for the younger guys. We're all out there competing our butts off. You know, if somebody makes a play, we're all congratulating them. But we all know it's competition. You know what I mean? We all know that we have to put our best foot forward on tape and play hard and good.